Hello, welcome to Kingdom Mandate. I am Dimeji, and this is where I show you how to bring the kingdom of God to wherever you are, until the kingdom of that place become the kingdom of our God, and you reign with Him. And one of the ways to do that is through leadership, and leadership is influence. So Jesus' example of leadership, he came as an example for us. So his leadership style is also the kind of leadership style he expects us to bring forth into that particular kingdom and take over that kingdom. Because most people are tired of the way the world leads. They want a different way that leads. And Jesus' way of leadership is entirely different, because Jesus' way of leadership is people centered, not centered on his vision, not centered on the kingdom, not centered on anything. It's centered on the people. You get me? Make the people better, and the kingdom will spread. So, one of the ways he did that was he inspired people to do the impossible. The things they've never done before, the things that every single person says it's impossible, he inspired them. He made this particular statement. He told his disciples, he said, if you can believe, to many, what they tried to heal that child, but the child, it was impossible for them to heal. So they came to Jesus. He said, see, if you can believe, all things are possible to him that believes. If you can believe, what an inspiration. You're hearing that from a master, and he's telling you that if you can believe, you can cast out that devil from that particular child. All it takes is believe. If you can believe, you can do whatever anyone calls impossible. And I'm telling you, men who have followed Christ have done impossible things because they believe. Take Oral Robert, for instance. Oral Robert never believed he could build a university. But what happened? He built a university because he believed. Kenneth Copeland never believed he could ever be rich. But he believed, and he became rich. So there are all kinds of people that never believed, but Jesus inspired them to believe they can do the impossible. And Jesus wants us to do the same to people. When somebody tells you about something they are going to do, and the thing is actually small, you get me, something that you know they can do, now tell them that this is possible. But the thing is this, Jesus' kind of leadership specializes in making people do the impossible. So tell them they can expand it and they can do more, because all it requires is belief and growth. If you can grow and believe, anything that is called impossible can be possible with you. Because the truth is this, our potential is the potential of God. We're created in the image and likeness of God, so we have the potential of God. He said, these things are possible with God. They're impossible with men, but possible with God. But if we can believe, they are possible with us. What is he saying? He's saying that, see, if we can unleash the potential of God within us, then everything will be possible. And everything is indeed going to be possible. So all we need to do as leaders is to inspire people, not people to do the impossible for us, but to do impossible for their lives. They should continually break the barrier. You get me? Shatter that ceiling that has been placed over them. If they are women and they work in a place where women have never risen to the top, you get me? We need to inspire them, to tell them that, see, there is no limit to what you can do. The impossible that people think cannot be done, you can do it. All you need to do is to believe. And when we begin to inspire people, imagine a church where there are 5,000 people in the town, 10,000 people in that particular church, 50,000, 100,000, and the pastor is able to inspire every one of them to believe they can do the impossible. Now that city will be subdued under God. But why is it that we are not subduing cities under God? Because the pastor doesn't inspire them, the pastor motivates them. And in that motivation, the pastor only shows them that it is only the pastor that can do the impossible. The pastor is the one anointed to do the impossible, not them. So they go home and they wonder, my pastor can actually make this. They are talking with somebody, my pastor can do the impossible. My pastor can do this. What of you? Jesus didn't die for your pastors, he died for you also. So whatever Jesus can do, you can do much more. So let's begin to inspire people under us. Our children, tell them they can do the impossible. Don't shout at them when they make mistakes. When they make mistakes, you call them and tell them, say, it is possible. All you need to do is to do this. When Jesus' disciples failed, he just tell them that this only goes out by prayer and fasting. You get me? This only goes out by prayer and fasting. He said, you unbelieving nation, you didn't believe. Because if you had believed, it would have been possible. But this one, the demon in this, can only go by prayer and fasting. And go back to Acts of Apostles and see what the disciples did. You get me? They learned because Jesus inspired them. The correction was out of love. The correction was not out of hate. The correction was not out of trying to bring them down. It was out of trying to build them up. He inspired them and they did the impossible. They turned the world upside down. And he wants us to do the impossible. So let every Christian leader inspire people under you, inspire people around you to do the impossible. And when we begin to do that, we'll make this world the kingdom of God.